Kato was not just handsome, he was breathtaking. When he walked through the village paths, heads turned, hearts raced, and whispers followed him like shadows. Women admired him endlessly. They dressed in their finest wrappers, decorated themselves with beads and gold, and bathed in the sweetest perfumes, just to catch his attention. Whenever Kato passed, they laughed louder, walked slower, and positioned themselves to be seen. But admiration soon turned into rivalry. If one woman caught his glance, another would step in. Jealousy grew like fire in dry grass. Arguments broke out, insults filled the air, and sometimes fights erupted, all for one man. But Kato, he simply smiled and walked on. He chose no one. Far from the noise of the village, at the edge where the land grew quiet, lived a young woman named Aching. Aching had very little: a small, crumbling hut, a dry piece of land, and hands hardened by work. Her clothes were simple, her voice was soft, and her presence almost unnoticed. She never joined the other women. She never fought, never dressed to impress, never tried to be seen. In fact, she avoided Kato whenever she saw him, because deep in her heart, she believed something painful. A man like him would never look at someone like me. One afternoon, when the sun burned fiercely above the earth, and most of the village rested in the shade, Kato walked past the fields, and there, he saw her, bent over the soil, sweating under the harsh sun, working tirelessly. There was no audience, no applause, no performance, just commitment. Kato slowed down. For the first time, he did not walk away. Days passed, then weeks. Kato found himself returning, again and again, not to be admired, but to observe. He watched her closely, how she never complained, even when the work was heavy, how she shared her little harvest with those who had even less, how she woke before the sun, and rested long after it had set. There was something different about her, a quiet strength, a silent beauty, the kind no perfume could create. Then one evening, as the sky turned orange, and the village gathered once again, Kato did something no one expected. He walked past the adorned women, past the laughter, past the whispers, past the ones who fought for him, and he kept walking, until he reached Aching. The village fell silent, eyes widened, whispers stopped, even the wind seemed to pause. Kato stood before her, and for the first time, the man everyone desired spoke. "I have seen beauty that fades by sunset." His voice was calm, steady, certain. "But in you, I see a heart that endures every storm." Aching lowered her eyes, confused, overwhelmed. "Why me?" she asked softly. Kato smiled. Not the smile the village had seen before, but one filled with truth. "Because you never tried to be seen," he said gently. "Yet, you are the only one I truly saw." And in that moment, everything changed. Kato chose Aching. Not the loudest, not the richest, not the most desired, but the most genuine. And from that day on, the village carried a lesson that would echo for generations. True beauty is not what you wear. It is not what you show. It is what you live when no one is watching.